Was this really just a simple mistake? Or was it something much, much deeper? You ever look at someone and just feel a chill down your spine, knowing they're playing a game you don't even understand yet? Well, that is Megan Walsh in a nutshell. We've seen a lot of villains on Coronation Street over the years, but Megan isn't your average bad guy. She's a predator who moves with this scary, surgical precision. This week, we saw her try to recapture Will Driscoll, and it was honestly hard to watch. But the big question I keep coming back to is this: was her plan to get Will back ever really about love? Or was it just the final, desperate move of a woman who knew her time was running out? We watched the ultimate psychological showdown on the cobbles, and if you thought Megan was the one in charge, you are in for a massive surprise. Let's talk about how we even got here, because this whole situation is just messy. To really get why Megan thought she could just whistle and have Will run back to her, we have to look at how she built this trap in the first place. She didn't just happen to meet Will. She literally moved from Hull to Weatherfield just to be near this 16-year-old boy. She called herself his athletics coach. Think about that for a second. She used his biggest passion, his dream of being a star athlete, as a way to get past his family's front door. It was like a Trojan horse. She made herself his mentor, which gave her all the power. In her world, Will's success as a runner was tied directly to how much he listened to her. It makes me so frustrated thinking about the Driscoll family at the start of all this. Ben and Eva weren't being stupid. They were just being parents who wanted the best for their kid. They were so focused on Will's career that they missed the fact that he was being taken hostage emotionally right under their noses. Megan wasn't just coaching him on how to run faster. She was coaching him on how to lie to the people who actually loved him. It's a classic move, isn't it? Isolate the victim. Make them feel like you're the only one who truly gets them. Psychologically, she was feeding Will's ego while starving his connection to his family. She made herself the only safe person in his world, which is just terrifying. So, why did she try to get to Will one last time? Why the big recapture mission? If you think it's because she missed him, I've got a bridge to sell you. It was because Will was her get-out-of-jail-free card. When the police, especially DS Lisa Swain, started asking questions, Megan knew she was in trouble. She needed Will to stay quiet. A victim who won't talk is a predator's best friend. She wanted to recapture his loyalty to make sure he'd keep his mouth shut about everything they'd done. This wasn't some romantic reunion or a plan for a new life in France. It was witness tampering disguised as a getaway. She played on his hero complex, making him feel like it was them against the world. That's such a common grooming tactic, making the kid feel like they're the lead in some tragic romance movie. But honestly, looking at Megan, I don't think she feels anything for him at all. While Will was spiraling out of control, drinking vodka on scaffolding because he felt the weight of this grand romance, Megan was probably just looking at her watch. Will felt like he was in a version of Romeo and Juliet, but the reality was much darker. He was just a loose end that she needed to tie up. You want proof of how little she cared? Look at that lover's guide to Paris he gave her. He thought it was a symbol of their future together. She looked him in the eye, took the gift, and then binned it the second he turned his back. That tells you everything you need to know about the love she felt. It was non-existent. The shock Megan gets in the end is honestly the best part of the whole storyline for me. It's not just about getting arrested. It's the moment she realizes she lost her grip on Will's mind. She spent months threatening kids like Sam Blakeman and recording people like Maggie to keep her secret safe. She thought she was untouchable, but I see her shock as that specific moment a narcissist realizes their mirror has finally cracked. She thought she had Will in her pocket forever, but she didn't count on the one thing she couldn't manipulate: people actually caring about each other. When Tim Metcalf stepped in, he didn't just give Will some advice. He gave him a way out of the maze Megan had built for him. I have to say, seeing her downfall feel so earned was incredibly satisfying. I've watched a lot of villains, but Megan Walsh is on another level because she used her job as a teacher to hurt someone. She didn't just break the law, she tried to break a kid's spirit. Seeing her get caught at the airport, realizing her plan to just take his money and run was exposed. It was exactly what we needed to see. She deserved to be shocked because she totally underestimated how strong the Driscoll family actually is. Let's talk about the psychological side of this for a minute because it's fascinating in a dark way. Megan shows every sign of being a classic narcissist. She's entitled, she has zero empathy, and she needs to be in control at all times. That plan to run to France with the £2,000 Will stole from his dad's safe? That was her discard phase. Predators like her don't stick around when things get messy. They take what they can and disappear to find a new victim. Her behavior is all about ego. Getting caught is the ultimate insult to someone like her because it means she wasn't as smart as she thought she was. And we can't talk about Megan's shock without talking about Tim Metcalfe. Tim was the real MVP here. It was such a smart move by the writers to bring up Tim's own history of being groomed by Trisha. This wasn't just a plot device. It was a huge moment where one survivor helped another. Tim didn't judge Will. He didn't yell at him. He just showed Will that this wasn't love, it was abuse. By Tim sharing his story, he took away Megan's power. He made her just another Trisha, another predator with a different name. That's what finally made Will go to the police. Megan thought she was getting her boy back, but thanks to Tim, she was actually being walked right into a trap. The actual climax at the airport was just wild. The police reveal that Megan only ever booked one plane ticket. One. That's the moment the whole recapture plot just dies. She didn't want a life with Will. She wanted his dad's money, so she could escape the consequences of what she'd done. Honestly, that's the most sickening part of the whole thing. Even when she was supposedly committing to him, she was still lying. She was going to leave a 16-year-old kid stranded while she flew away. The look on her face when she realized the police knew about the ticket wasn't guilt. It was just the realization that she'd run out of lies. If she really wanted to be with him, why only one ticket? The logic just wasn't there anymore. While all this was going down, the rest of the Driscolls were falling apart. Will was at his absolute lowest point, sitting on scaffolding with a bottle of vodka, feeling like his whole world was ending. It stopped being just a crime story and became a real family tragedy. You could hear the pain in Ben's voice when he said he was worried Megan had ruined Will's life. That is a fear so many parents have. And then you had the Battersby sisters, Eva, Leanne, and Toya, deciding they'd had enough and going after Megan themselves. That confrontation was basically the whole community saying no more. Megan tried to play the victim, but when those three are at your door, your mask is going to slip. The emotional damage here is just huge. When Will heard his dad say he might never recover from this, it was a massive wake-up call. Will's breakdown wasn't just about losing a girlfriend. It was about realizing that the person he thought loved him was actually his worst enemy. He tells Ben he'll never get over it, and you really believe him. Megan didn't just steal money. She stole his ability to trust people. In my opinion, that's her biggest crime. She recaptured him just long enough to break his heart one last time before the handcuffs went on. But wait, because there might be an even bigger shock coming for all of us. Have you heard the theory that Megan might actually be Tim Metcalfe's daughter? It sounds crazy, but think about it. Fans are speculating that Trisha had a child with Tim when he was a minor, and that child grew up to be Megan. If that's true, it adds a whole new, messed up layer to the apple doesn't fall far from the tree idea. Imagine the shock for Tim if he realizes the boy he just saved was being groomed by his own daughter, a daughter born from his own trauma. That would make this one of the darkest, most complex stories Corey has ever told. So, what happens now? I think Megan's trial is going to be a huge deal. But if you think she's going to go quietly, you haven't been paying attention. She's already shown she'll record and blackmail anyone to get what she wants. Does she have more secrets on her phone? And what about her pregnancy? Is it even real, or is she going to use it to try and get sympathy from a jury? Will has a really long road ahead of him. He has to figure out who he is without Megan and without being the star athlete she made him into. Hopefully, with people like Tim and Sam Blakeman in his corner, he can start to heal. But the shock of what she did is going to stay with him forever. And let's not forget Daniel Osborne. He was used as a pawn in her game, and he's going to have to live with the fact that he was dating a predator while she was destroying a student's life. At the end of the day, Megan Walsh thought she was the smartest person on the cobbles. She thought she could just recapture Will and disappear. But she forgot that the truth always has a way of coming out. She's in for a shock that's going to last a long time, and for everyone else, the healing is just starting. This wasn't just a story about a teacher and a student. It was a story about why it's so important to speak up and how much strength it takes to break away from someone who's manipulating you. I really want to know what you guys think about all this. This story has been so intense, and there is a lot to talk about. First off, what do you think about the theory that Tim Metcalf is Megan's dad? Do you think that makes the story more interesting, or is it just too dark for Coronation Street? And what about the Driscolls? Do you think Ben and Eva should have seen the signs earlier, or was Megan just that good at hiding who she really was? Is it fair to blame parents when there's a professional predator involved? If you like this deep dive into everything going on with Megan and Will, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss any of our Corey updates. Also, give this video a like if you want to see more commentary like this. Drop a comment below with your own theories about what Megan's next shock is going to be. I love reading what you guys come up with. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. You know, there's another side to this we have to look at, and that's the other people Megan hurt along the way. Take Sam Blakeman. Sam was actually the first one to see through her PE teacher act. Megan didn't just groom Will. She bullied Sam because he was smart enough to figure her out. She did some really low things to him, stealing his homework and even threatening to put him on a sex offenders register just to keep him quiet. It shows that she wasn't just looking for love. She was looking for control over anyone she could find. Her shock at getting caught isn't just about Will. It's about the fact that a little boy like Sam was the one who started her downfall. It's pretty poetic, isn't it? The kid she called delusional and the man she probably thought was broken were the ones who actually saw the truth. And we can't forget Maggie Driscoll. Maggie is such a complicated character because she has her own massive secret. She accidentally killed her husband, Alan. Megan found out and used that to blackmail her. So, Megan wasn't just recapturing Will. She was trying to own the whole family through fear. But when Maggie climbed that scaffolding to topple down, she was basically telling Megan she didn't care about the secret anymore. She chose her grandson over her own safety. That's something a narcissist like Megan can't understand. She would never sacrifice herself for anyone, so seeing Maggie do it must have been a huge shock to her system. Looking ahead to the trial, I'm betting we're going to hear about more victims. We already know about Lee from Hull, who tried to warn Will. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a whole trail of people Megan has hurt. That's going to be the hardest part for Will, realizing he wasn't special to her. He was just next on the list. It's a brutal realization, but it's often the thing that finally breaks the spell a predator has over someone. In the end, Megan's attempt to recapture Will was her last big mistake. She's a character we're going to remember for being incredibly cold and calculating, but her story is also about how a community can come together to protect its own. They listened to the victims, they stood up to the bully, and they didn't let her win. The real shock isn't just for Megan. It's a reminder for everyone that the bad guys don't always look like monsters. Sometimes they look like the coach standing on the sidelines. I'm really interested to see how the show handles the aftermath of this. Coronation Street usually does a great job with the long-term impact of these kinds of stories. Will we see Will getting therapy? How will Ben and Eva's relationship handle the guilt? And if that paternity twist actually happens, the fallout for Tim and Sally is going to be massive. There are so many ways this could go, and I'm here for all of it. Anyway, that's my take on the whole Megan Walsh and Will Driscoll situation. It's been a roller coaster, and I don't think it's over yet. Make sure you stay tuned because we're going to be following every twist and turn of the trial and the aftermath. Don't forget to share this video with your fellow Corey fans so we can get a big debate going in the comments. I want to see all your predictions. Do you think Megan will actually go to prison, or does she have one last trick up her sleeve? Let me know. Until next time, take care and keep watching. Was this really just a simple mistake? Or was it something much, much deeper? You ever look at someone and just feel a chill down your spine, knowing they're playing a game you do not even understand yet? Well, that is Megan Walsh in a nutshell. We have seen a lot of villains on Coronation Street over the years, but Megan is not your average bad guy. She is a predator who moves with this scary, surgical precision. This week, we saw her try to recapture Will Driscoll, and it was honestly hard to watch. But the big question I keep coming back to is this: was her plan to get Will back ever really about love? Or was it just the final, desperate move of a woman who knew her time was running out? We watched the ultimate psychological showdown on the cobbles, and if you thought Megan was the one in charge, you are in for a massive surprise. Let's talk about how we even got here, because this whole situation is just messy. To really get why Megan thought she could just whistle and have Will run back to her, we have to look at how she built this trap in the first place. She did not just happen to meet Will. She literally moved from Hull to Weatherfield just to be near this 16-year-old boy. She called herself his athletics coach. Think about that for a second. She used his biggest passion, his dream of being a star athlete, as a way to get past his family's front door. It was like a Trojan horse. She made herself his mentor, which gave her all the power. In her world, Will's success as a runner was tied directly to how much he listened to her. It makes me so frustrated thinking about the Driscoll family at the start of all this. Ben and Eva were not being stupid. They were just being parents who wanted the best for their kid. They were so focused on Will's career that they missed the fact that he was being taken hostage emotionally right under their noses. Megan was not just coaching him on how to run faster. She was coaching him on how to lie to the people who actually loved him. It's a classic move, isn't it? Isolate the victim. Make them feel like you're the only one who truly gets them. Psychologically, she was feeding Will's ego while starving his connection to his family. She made herself the only safe person in his world, which is just terrifying. Why did she try to get to Will one last time? Why the big recapture mission? If you think it is because she missed him, I've got a bridge to sell you. It was because Will was her get-out-of-jail-free card. When the police, especially DS Lisa Swain, started asking questions, Megan knew she was in trouble. She needed Will to stay quiet. A victim who won't talk is a predator's best friend.